So now that we've collected all of our weapons and gear, we can actually go ahead and clear the rest of the Undead Burg, as well as kill the first actual boss of the game. Now you might notice that not all parts in the video are in chronological order, but that is because I had to cut and splice and reorganize some things in order to keep the continuity of the video as best as possible. But I assume that won't bother anyone in the end, so do enjoy the video.
See, and this is something that's quite strange. So you open this door with the residence key. You can also open it with the master's key, but a bit later you encounter the door, which holds the sorcerer, and you can open it with the residence key, but for some strange reason you cannot open it with the master key. So there's something fishy going on right there. So there's a pretty neat trick right here. This guy is gonna kick the flaming barrel down the stairs, and if you stick to the left side and just jump right into it, you actually pass through the side of the barrel. It's what people use in speedruns. Not sure if 60 frames per second affects it, but we're about to find out, I guess. Yeah, so it doesn't. You can just jump right through it, and if you're lucky, he actually just burns himself in the fire. And if you want to, you can actually drop down on this ledge. And this is a pretty popular hiding spot in PvP. I've seen a lot of people try and hide up here, but yeah. Nowhere you can go from there other than just down here, which is where we were earlier, where we killed the Black Knight. And so since we have the master key, we're just gonna take care of Havel while we're at it, or Havel, depends on how you say it. He's really not that difficult. You can parry him, yeah, and just parry over and over and over, but because he has so much more health than the Black Knights and so much more defense, it's probably not recommended, because if you miss one of them, you're basically done for. So it's much safer, although it takes quite a bit longer, to just do this and just dodge his attacks, backstab him, and then get in a strong attack as he's getting up. Pretty much no way he's gonna kill you like that unless you mess something up really bad, and the most likely thing to mess up is when you are locked onto him and you roll as he is moving or lunging in a certain way. You can actually basically roll right in front of him and get fucked when he hits you once. So now for science though, I will demonstrate that it's actually entirely possible to parry Havel, because I've had some of my real life friends swear to me that it's basically impossible to parry him. So to dispel that myth, I will demonstrate parrying him. It's pretty hard though, because there we go. Because he puts a lot of delay on a lot of his attacks, so it's quite hard to predict. And yeah, especially the way I'm playing right now, I'm just using my bare hand, and that's has the lowest amount of parry frames out of pretty much anything in the entire game. So not recommended. Especially not if you want to actually kill him. Oh, this is something pretty cool though. Havel's actually has a special attack with his shield, which looked like he was about to do, but then didn't in the end. But basically, if you have Havel's shield and you two-hand it, you can actually do some kind of special attack with it. And what it does is it basically encases you in this black, rocky, gluey mass, and it's basically iron flesh. So the spell, or the pyromancy iron flesh, it makes you a lot slower. You can't sprint or roll or anything like that anymore, but you take a lot less damage. And if you have the great shield, you can basically get that effect without ever having to use the pyromancy. Gotta stay a bit alert though, because it's very easy to just start going with the flow and messing up one roll, or having him do one of his funky side steps or whatever. He can be deceptively fast when he wants to be, so sometimes he will just, yeah, he will do something like that and turn around pretty much instantly as you think you will be able to get an easy backstab off, and then he will just slam your face in and it will be over in one hit. And that's the end of Havel. And now he will drop one of the most useful rings in the entire game, especially at the start, which is his ring. And Havel's ring has the wonderful effect that it will actually, basically it will boost your equipment load by 50%, meaning you can carry a lot more and still be able to fast roll. So I should be able to put on my gauntlets again, as well as put the Yaito in my offhand, and I can still fast roll. So now we are full weeaboo, which obviously I, like any rational person, detest completely, but for the sake of this challenge run I will bear with it. So before we go ahead and fight the Taurus demon, again, from basically the Taurus demon fight, you can already see way back there the cathedral with the church bell and the two gargoyles. You can't see them yet, but that's where you're gonna fight them later on that rooftop. And if you look a little bit more to the right, you can see Sense Fortress, which is that building right there. And we can, well, we can just not see it from right up here, but you can also see the Duke's Archives and Sieves area way back there. It's just around the corner for now. But as we're about to fight Taurus, there's actually two very interesting ways you can kill him by cheesing him. Cheesing in this context meaning killing the boss without much of the real challenge, or by exploiting a certain mechanic or one way or another. So the first one, which I think is the most boring one really, is you can get Taurus to fall off the map and die instantly, and he can do so by jumping after you if you fall off first, but that's obviously not what you want. But you can also bait him into falling off himself. So the way you do it is you basically lure him over to the edge, and when Taurus does or performs a certain attack, right after he finishes his attack, if you just run into him at full speed, you can kind of manipulate the RNG and get him to basically jump backwards. He will perform a little bit of a backstab like this, only a bit further, and if you set him up nicely and run into him at full speed, he will just backstab right off the edge and fall to his death. So Taurus Demon is really not a very hard boss to kill, but he is quite challenging to kill without taking any damage at all, because a lot of his attacks have very strange hitboxes that just linger on for quite a while, or they do that, which is basically them having a bit of a shockwave around it, which makes it very hard to dodge, because even though you're away from the attack, it's still possible that they will get off some damage on you. So yeah, but yeah, that counts as damage, so I'm just gonna kill myself and give it a second try. Oh, and as you can tell, Taurus just jumped right after me and killed himself. But I think it took too long. Now I'm unsure. We will find out whether or not I actually killed the boss or not now. And he's dead. So much for killing Taurus without taking any damage. That's a little bit disappointing. Although I guess I don't know, maybe there's another way that I can get another character up here and give it another go. We'll see.
So yeah, I'll happily admit that this was a bit of a cheap fight, and that most of what I did was just stay far away from him and then punish his swings with a quick running attack. But after spending all that time getting here again and fighting him all over, I just figured that I would kill him as fast as I could without worrying too much about making it a fancy fight. After all, it's the Taurus demon, it's not like there's much going on anyways.
Also, there's a very small chance, I believe it's like 5 or 10%, that the Taurus demon will actually drop his Great Axe, which is the single strongest weapon in the entire game. Once you get it to Crystal plus 15, it has the single highest damage counter in a single hit out of any weapon in the entire game, so pretty powerful to have. But anyways, that's more or less the point that I want to end this episode on. We'll continue a little bit further with the Helldrake and everything that comes after in the next one, but that's gonna be it for now, so thank you for watching.